Howdy, Bloomies. We are back, and I have an awesome guest on the episode. I have Gina. Hey, Gina.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
I love the background. You always bring it with the aesthetic, so I had to try to match your energy with the background. I need to get a piece.
You
I need to get a
do.
piece from you so I can add it like right here. Because this crown is from when we met, the dinner with
Oh,
Marcia.
that's
The
right.
She
That's
Is
right.
Art like crown dinner that we did. So this is my crown, and I put it so it's like
That was
over.
such a great event. And you know
It
I'm doing
was.
colors, so I can do
I know.
anything to match your vibe.
But the black, white, and gold is classic.
Classic Gina, for
It
sure.
is. Like that is your signature.
Yes.
So much so that if I see it anywhere, like the branding is strong with you. Because anywhere I see that combination, I'm like Gina. Even if it's
Same.
like the pattern is not the same or the splatter, like no, I'm just like Gina. So
I
I'm
love
sure the
it.
Bloomies are like, who is this girl? What does she do? But tell the Bloomies a little bit about you, Gina.
Well, my name is Gina Tyquiengco. I am originally from Indiana, but I live in Central Florida now. I'm a mom, I'm an artist, I'm a graphic and web designer, and I am just doing my thing here.
You're doing your thing and doing it well, honey, because you're
Thank
killing it out
you.
here and you've
Thank
been
you.
consistent. Like, that's one thing I have to say that I admire the most about you is just how you just keep going. And it's always different every time. Seeing your evolution from the time that I met you has been beautiful to observe, like, honestly.
Thank you so much. Yeah, consistency is key in everything, but in creativity especially, I
Yeah.
feel like consistency and discipline is key to living a successful creative life. And it's actually what I set out to do when I started painting. My only goal was to live a creative, fulfilling life. And I knew that showing up every day was going to be
Mhm.
key into doing that.
So how did you navigate? Because a lot of people fell off, or rather, just had major brain farts, honestly, when the pandemic hit, because so much was going on. Usually, people either tap into that creative energy and just kind of express what all is going on with them. Other people just stop because that momentum of like being out and being social, really hinders their creative process. But you've managed to just keep pushing out content, keep pushing out paintings, and even just change. Like when you started adding the gold leaf, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, bitch. I know that's
Yes.
right. So what was the motive, like what is your drive? What is the motivation that you tap into to keep on creating? Because it's natural for a lot of creatives to kind of get stuck in their process. Like how do you just push through any of that?
Yeah, and I definitely have my seasons where I'm not as creative or as productive as I am, but early on I learned to really hone that discipline when it comes to creativity. It
Mm-hmm.
was intentional. Like I read a bunch of books. I listened to a bunch of speakers. I welcomed all the resources to help me live a very creative, intentional life. And so it was more discipline and also tuning in and trusting my intuition and not just, waiting around for inspiration to find me. I would really go inward
Mm-hmm.
to kind of like be more creative. And during the pandemic, I was actually thriving
Yeah.
because I mean, what else,
What else was there to
what
do?
else
Like
what
everybody
else
was
is there to
home.
do? So I'm like, that was the time. And I know it was like horrible for a lot of people, but I took that time to cook new things, make new drinks, like, you have all the time. And so I took all that energy into doing something new, into creating, and I got pregnant during the pandemic too. So then that had changed some things.
I was about to say, girl, not only were you creating works of art, but you created a true baby doll.
I
I'm
created
obsessed
my
with your baby
biggest
girl.
masterpiece. Yes.
Yes. How has that been? Because when we met, I don't know if we shared that, like in common, we were just like kids. I don't know
Girl, I did not
about
want any kids. Even when I was little, I was never about that life. Like growing up, I'm like, I'm gonna be the rich auntie, just traveling and
Mm-hmm.
like popping up every now and then. I did not want kids like at all.
Yeah, because you're the oldest, right? Of
I
your
am.
mom's kids.
Yeah.
See, so I think it's something having to do with being the oldest daughter or the only daughter that maybe it delays that because you've had to exercise your maternal instinct in some way, having to look out for little kids or like you kind of become the surrogate parent, even in a two parent household, but it's even heightened when you're in a single parent household.
Very, very, very true. And I was in a single parent household for the most part, but in addition to having my younger brother and my younger sisters, I
Hmm.
started babysitting when I was like 10 or 11. It was
Yeah.
like real young. And I'm talking about like other people's kids, like
Yeah, because
our
you
family
just kind of
friends.
assume like a mature like disposition. They have pretty much trained you into knowing what to do, what not to do, because you have to look out for the others when they're not around. And I'm sure you
Exactly.
carried it so people just felt safe leaving their kids with you while you're still a kid yourself. So that takes away a little bit of the childhood,
That's true.
unfortunately,
That's
because you
true.
gotta look out for everybody.
That's very true.
Child. So then now, fast forward, and how old were you, if you don't mind sharing, when you got pregnant?
Oh, girl, I was 34 when I had her. So I was
Okay.
33 when I got pregnant.
Girl, your Jesus year. That's wild.
Yeah.
Because they usually say life changing events happen. Wow, that's so interesting.
Mm.
So now, okay, you're 33, you find out that you're pregnant. What is the first thing that comes to mind?
My life is ruined.
Mm,
Like I said, I did not want a kid. But during the pandemic, so this is in 2020, February of 2020, I lost my Nana, who was like basically
mm.
my mom. She was everything to me. But the pandemic hit, it was like a month
Right after.
later, like March,
Yeah,
I remember it hitting. And I was in a place where I wasn't sure of anything. I was navigating so many things at once, trying to be strong for my family,
yeah,
navigating this relationship I was in, and relationships that I had with everyone else, keeping up with my art, keeping up with freelancing. It was just like a bunch of things happening that I was like basically trying to like stay above water.
yeah,
And that's kind of how I was operating. As the year went on, I just found myself like reaching out to my grandmother. I was praying a lot more. I was talking to her. I
hmm,
was asking her for clarity and guidance because even with what I was doing with my art, my job, I was just kind of all over the place.
yeah.
November came along and I ended up pregnant and it shook me to my core because I was like, oh my
Mm,
gosh. And for about a month, I was really down
hmm.
because I felt like I was in this really hard place of trying to come to terms with me actually being pregnant and possibly having a kid and
Yeah,
career and art and everything. And I just felt like, "Oh, if I have a kid, my life is over. I'm going to lose myself. I'm not going to be able to travel. I'm not going to do my art." I just had all of these negative
yeah.
thoughts, which isn't even like me. And then at some point, I snapped out of it just by changing my perspective. And eventually I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to have a kid, this is the time. This is the time. And if I were going to have a kid, the guy, Rose's dad would be who I would want to have a kid with. So things just kind of started to make more sense to me. But the
Hmm.
key thing that I think that shifted my perspective was, wait, having a kid isn't going to take anything away from me. It's only going to enhance my life. And
That's beautiful.
once I shifted my perspective, then I was like, all right, I'm doing this. Wow. I'm like telling my family. People are having like emotional reactions because people thought I would,
Oh,
would never have
they're like
a
you,
kid.
like
Yeah.
because you were, I mean, for 33, you had been pretty consistent
I
because a
was
lot of
like,
people would have fallen off during their 20s or
exactly.
right around 30s. So they're like, wait, the rich auntie.
Exactly. Exactly. And so everyone was just like really happy and it helped me kind of come to terms with like my new reality.
Hmm.
And I always say it was because of my grandmother. I asked for guidance, I asked for clarity, and I received. And throughout my pregnancy, I would have these signs and just like random things that would happen. They weren't random. that let me know that she was there with me and that this was her
Oh,
doing.
would she visit you in your dreams?
She wouldn't so after she had passed away, she only appeared in my dreams twice, but I never got to connect with her. It was like
Okay.
she was just out of touch, where she didn't look at me or she was, like, walking away, and I remember
Did you feel more like you were watching her
yes.
more so than you guys in the same space? That happened to me with my grandfather when he first passed. I felt like a little version of me. It just felt like a weird like flashback. And he
Yes.
was just moving about doing his thing and I just felt like why can't I talk to you, but I'm
Yeah,
observing you in your space. It's very
and it's
tricky.
funny
Yeah.
because even in my dreams, the setting was back home, was, like, back at
Yeah.
her house where I
Yeah, for
lived.
me it was my grandfather's house and
It's
I felt it was
crazy.
me in the living room and it was just him kind of going about his day doing things around the house and I'm just kind of like trying to get his attention but he was just kind of it just felt I don't know if I was like a toddler or something the perspective. It was
That's
just a
so
very
interesting,
dreamlike flashback kind of moment. But yeah,
and,
that's beautiful. Does
late
Rose remind you
oh, yeah,
of your
well,
grandma?
but the dream things, fast forward, I was, like, later on, um, in my pregnancy, I had spoken to a shaman who's, like, this family friend, and I told her about my dreams, and I'm like, "Why hasn't she come to me?" And the shaman, she was like, "She'll come to you when you need her."
Mm,
And I hadn't dreamt about her since. I mean, I've since then, but at the time, like I said, I felt her presence in certain times of life,
mhm.
but I saw her when I was in labor.
Wow.
And the shaman, this is right. She appeared when I needed her the most.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that gave me chills, but in the best way.
Yeah, it
Was
was
that comforting? Like, what was your labor and delivery like? Like, was it
girl.
traumatic or was it
I was determined to do everything natural,
okay?
and I did. But the pain, the physical pain, the mental stamina that you need for labor, I prepared as much as I could. I read all the books.
Yeah.
I did everything that I needed to do, but I got to like 7.5, 8 centimeters, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, why did I choose to have an unmedicated birth? I felt almost on the verge of being defeated. Like, I'm
Oh.
like, I don't want to do this no more. And it was like 9 centimeters came, and I was like
Oh, she practically out.
struggling.
Yeah.
I was struggling. It was like the first time in my life I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt
Mm,
defeated. And at one point, I'm closing my eyes, and she appears. Her face, it was clear as day, and it felt so real, and she just
yeah.
had a look. She just had a look. She didn't say anything. She
Mm,
just had a look, and it was like one of those looks like, "You got this."
yeah.
And after that, that was all that's what I needed to get
Yeah.
through, and then I was able to get through. And, when Rose came Earthside, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's my Nana."
Oh.
Yeah. And Rose is named after
Oh, is she? Oh, that's beautiful. I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's so weird how life happens or those incidents in life. How has being a mom changed you?
Man, it has expanded everything in my life. And I think the biggest surprise to me was it expanded my capacity to love
Mm,
and to empathize. And it's like this whole new set of emotions and feelings just came, but then they also came like hard.
okay.
Yeah, it's changed.
So if present Gina could say anything to Gina who was 32 or 33 right before you even found out, like girl, what would you say to your past self? The one who was I'm rich auntie, ain't nobody trying to have no babies. I don't want to be tied down, honey. I'm trying to be out here booking flights.
That's a good question. I think in my personality, I would probably make old Gina laugh. I would be like, "Girl, you have no idea what you're about to experience." And after I had Rose, I was very emotional because to think I went my whole life thinking I'm never going to have kids,
Mhm.
and then having Rose and thinking, "I can't believe I was gonna live my life without you." It
Mm.
was crazy. It was crazy. It's unthinkable, really.
I'm just downloading all of that because I too am quick to protest and profess that I don't know if being a mom is for me. I feel like I hope that I would be a good mom if it's meant to be. I, much like you, I didn't grow up thinking, oh, I want these many kids and this. If I said any of that, is more so because it was expected to want those things as a girl.
Mhm.
But I couldn't say that I want like had a plan. I want kids by this age. I want them to do this. I would want two boys or girls or like any of that. All of that scared me because feeling responsible and taking care of and looking after people from such a young age, it's like you're having a kid, you're making that choice to
Exactly.
take on the responsibility. Like you are really and truly responsible for somebody else's life. And it just seems like you're signing up to worry about someone else for the rest of your life. And then just the fear, like all kinds of things, like
The
a lot of
fear,
messaging,
the
the
fear is
fear.
real. I like to say before Rose, I was probably one of the most fearless people that I knew.
You're one of the fearless people that I know.
And now I still have that. I'm still pretty fearless when it comes to most things, except when it comes to her.
Mm,
I could be terrified sometimes, which that was a new feeling that came with having a daughter, was that feeling of being terrified because I never felt like that before.
not even over your younger sisters.
No, I love them. I love them, but no,
Or
nothing.
your nieces or your
No,
nephews.
no, I never had
Mm.
that feeling. Never.
What is this? Is it like a vulnerability
A
tied to
hundred
it?
percent. A hundred
Okay.
percent. Like, I'm mom. I'm her protector. I'm
Yeah.
everything to her. And so, yeah, that worry comes very easily.
Yeah.
And you question a lot of things. You question like your choices. You have to face yourself a lot of the times,
Ooh, talk
especially
about that
as
more. I've heard that from different moms or moms that like in their later 30s, like
Mhm.
first time moms. No, you really like having a kid, it really makes you have to look in the mirror at yourself.
100%. And it's like as she's gotten older, the more I'm having to redefine what that looks like for me and like who I am and what type of mom I want to be.
Mm.
Because, as they get older, they quickly change and
You see their
they
personalities
have their
develop.
personalities. And if you're my daughter,
And she's a Leo.
she's a Leo
I
sun,
love it.
Aries rising,
Ooh,
Aquarius
she's fire.
moon.
Ooh.
She is, and I knew because we did her birth chart when she was born. I knew
Yeah.
what I was gonna get myself into, and she's my daughter, so I'm like,
I
"Oh,
mean, yeah.
man, she gonna be a lot." But to
A
actually
force to be
experience
reckoned with.
that, it's crazy, and
Mm.
so oftentimes when it's like I've run out of patience or she's just like being too much, that's when I have to go within and just take a moment because, I wanna be a certain way for her. And I don't
Mhm.
want to have regrets about any of
Yeah.
this and any of this time. And so you really have to work on yourself. It's like the kid is easy. Well, in my case, it's like the kid
Mhm.
is easy. It's how you react to things,
Mm.
how you basically behave. And it's not even just with them, but just in general, like how you interact because they watch, they
Yeah,
see
they're little recording
everything.
devices. They say everything you say. Like, yeah,
So
the
I've
curse word.
I've really had to watch myself. And before, I didn't at all. I had no filter. So
Did it cause you to question anything about yourself? Because I know, like, for me, I'm guilty of, well, if I had kids, my kid would not be acting up in this way. Or I think if I did ever become a mom, I'd be this. Like, have you had any of those moments or?
yeah, well, I feel like I got really lucky with Rose and
Mhm.
also going in when I was pregnant, I'm like, I'm gonna be the best mom.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like there was no failure. There is no failure,
You didn't
basically.
have any expectations really. So it's not like
I mean, I
she
had
was the
high
surprise.
expectations that I was
Okay.
going to be the best mom, and I
Yeah.
had expectations of her when she was younger. Like, my daughter, she's about to be chill, she's gonna be respectful, she's gonna be like everything that I wanted. And as she's grown up, yeah, she's respectful and yeah, she can be chill, but she can be real feisty too,
Mm.
and she can get crazy a little. and she throws tantrums, and
Because she's 4, right?
she'll be 4 in August. I used to be hard on myself when she wouldn't behave in the way that I thought she should behave,
Mm,
but then
okay.
I would have to take a step back and be like, "She's 2 or she's 3, and this is how they are supposed to behave."
Yeah.
I have a therapist who I've been working with for like 5 years, and
Shout out
she
to therapy.
always reassures me, like, "Girl, like, you are tripping. She's fine. You're fine. Just chill," basically. And so, because there are sometimes, we'd be at the park and she didn't want to go, and then she'll like throw herself on the ground. And
Who are you?
I'm like,
This is not
get
who I'm raising you
up.
to be.
And then I'm over here, you might like, look at all these white people,
Okay.
white people looking at us. Like,
Tighten up, tighten up. Get up, get up, get up,
right.
get up, get up. You do that at home, not outside.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Okay, so quick question. Because my therapist had to gather me. Because honestly, I am very fearful of a lot of things, child, my own shadow sometimes. One of my biggest fears is like not wanting to be like a bad mom or like do those, like, how can I say this, being respectful of my mom. Being raised by a single mom is very tough, and so there are those traumas that stem from childhood that I fear carrying to a potential like next generation, because just like I didn't ask for this, they didn't ask for this either. And my therapist, shout out to her, was like, well, you don't have to be like your mom. And I was like, well, damn.
That is facts.
I was wondering if you had any of those experiences, because for me, being so responsible and having to do all these things and look out for a lot of people, my mom included, there's a bit of resentment there. And even just hearing a lot of how her being a mom at the age that she was, my mom was 23 when she had me, but still her being the eldest and feeling like she had to start very young, looking out for her siblings and holding it down. A lot of that passed on to me. So it was like, oh, I felt like a hindrance. It was like, I'm holding you back, or because you're now a mom, you couldn't do all these things. Very much like you were fearful of like not being able to travel and things of that nature. That was some of the messaging told to us.
Yeah,
So I was just like, oh, well, damn, that generational curse ends here, honey, because guess who don't have to go through that?
exactly.
I don't want to be responsible or making anybody else feel like they held me back because of my decisions. So that's where a lot of my fear about motherhood and just being like, well, you know what? Guess what we're not going to do is that. But my therapist being like, well, you don't have to be that way. You don't have to be that kind of mom. So what about like for you?
Yeah, I think a lot of women share that same feeling about how they grew up and, becoming a mother. I shared the same things. My mom was 16 when she had me. She was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and she struggled like all her life. She was always working and didn't really have time, for a lot of things, including things like play and innocent things. And so going into motherhood, I was like, there's going to be the positive traits that I take
Mm-hmm.
from my mom, but the negative ones I'm just going to leave right at the door. And you choose every single day how you will show up as a mother and how you're going to react to things. And it's just something that will come to you and come to, and I say that like it's so easy because maybe it won't, because some people have some issues. But for me, I'm just very aware of that. And so every
Mm-hmm.
day when I'm being tested, I make that choice not to react in a certain way, or I make the choice to set aside time for little things like play. And I want Rose to feel like she's seen and that she's important and that the things that she cares about is worth caring as
Mm-hmm.
well for me. So it's just about slowing down and just being aware of all of that.
So, in your motherhood journey so far, has there been any moments where you kind of healed like any childhood wounds or any kind of issues or like sore spots between you and your mom? Like, has your relationship with her improved in some ways, or like, have you forgiven?
Yeah, so I actually started that work before I had a kid.
Oh, okay.
So I had actually done that inner work and, forgave and all that good stuff before I actually had a kid. And then when Rose came along, I felt like me and my mom's relationship got stronger because we talked almost every day or FaceTime, and
Mm.
that was different. And
Mm.
I just wanted, obviously, because we live so far apart, that FaceTime is really the only way that we can kind of see each other.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was important for Rose to like see her grandma. And so just by doing FaceTime every day, my relationship with my mom evolved because we were communicating every day. So, and another thing too, becoming a mom, obviously your mom will relate to you more, or you can relate to your mom more. And so when you
Mhm.
have these issues that come up or you need advice, my mom is always there for me. And it's like really good advice.
Yeah.
She's like always right.
Yeah.
So was something that came with becoming a mom myself.
That's awesome. So I want to go to what you said about doing the work before you actually
Mhm.
became a mom, which I'm sure thinking back, it's kind of like it's crazy how destiny works. It's kind of like you needed to do that in order to prepare yourself for one of your biggest blessings without even knowing
Mm.
because you didn't plan her. So, how old were you when you started realizing I maybe need to start working on this healing? Because for myself or other people out there who have delayed motherhood or denied motherhood or parenthood because of those fears and like childhood traumas or things of that nature, what is that work? Whether you plan on becoming a parent or not, just to kind of heal all of that. What did you do?
So I moved here about 10 years ago, and maybe it was like a year or two after I had moved down here. Went to this event. It was like a work related event, and my work is kind of woo woo. Like I do my thing, but the uh, who I work for and like the audience that we serve, it's kind of like woo woo. But so I went to this event, and one of the sessions was a past life regression exercise session. And I went into this just being silly, like not taking it
Like,
seriously.
I'll see
Like
what this is about.
I'm just
Mhm,
here
okay.
because of work. And so I'm sitting there and I'm going along, and the lady is taking everyone through like this exercise. And long story short, through this exercise, I eventually got serious and I was like, okay, let me do this for real. And this past life regression, I ended up seeing my mother as a child,
Mm,
and it was so innocent, and I was so overwhelmed with emotion that I actually left the session because I was getting emotional and I thought I was about to cry. And at the time I'm like, I'm not about to cry in front of people. So
you
I
think you
like
me.
I left, but that was a
Wow.
very powerful moment because I never thought of my mom like that. And that changed everything because I realized she was a baby. She was a little girl at some point and she was innocent, and then life got to her
Mm,
and she struggled and she just did the best that she could with what she had. And at that point, I felt like it was my responsibility to lead the the relationship or to create the relationship that I wanted, because I feel like for a long time I was waiting on my mom to mother me in the way that I wanted, and it just like kind of
mm,
never happened. So after that exercise, I took charge and I showed up. I'm reaching out. I'm doing all the things and having that hope that we would have a great relationship. And so that was like 8 years ago or something like that. And then about 6 years ago, I started therapy, and she wasn't like my family relationships weren't the focus. It was actually like romantic relationships and patterns. That was like the
mm,
focus of me going to therapy. But the mom issues came later.
mm.
And my therapist taught me about basically boundaries because I never really had them. And so I
Same.
learned about boundaries and setting them and having people respect them. And ever since then, it's been Gucci. Like, it's been great.
Was there any resistance from her at first? Because again, like by that point,
Oh,
you
girl,
guys,
yeah.
I
Because I'm
mean,
I'm
because
talking
you
to
kind
her,
of built in. So this is just the dynamic that you guys have cultivated all of these years. So then now it's like you switching up, and she's like,
and
and you're
she
not
was
living in the same
exactly like
state.
that.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to her like I was a therapist. I would be like,
Mm.
Mom, I was talking, I would say, like, hey, I was talking to my therapist and I described boundaries to her.
Mhm.
And she's like, she's
That's
taking
cute.
it all in. But then, like, the next, 4 or 5 times she would call me. Immediately, she's like, am I disrespecting your boundaries? She would
Like
like
trying to be
make
funny
fun
about
of
it.
it. And I'm
Listen.
like, yeah. So it took her a while, but then eventually she saw me growing and
Okay.
she saw me becoming a mother. So now she respects my boundaries now.
Oh, that's good because I wondered like how well she's been a grandmother before you had Rose.
Yeah, yeah.
So she kind of started it hopefully learning boundaries back then because there are those grandmothers
No,
that kind of try to override the mom.
no, she did not. With my sisters, no, no.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is it because because they're still in Indiana, right?
Yeah, they're still in Indiana, but I also think they're so young and they rely on my mom.
Oh, so it's
Whereas it's
different.
like I'm independent and they like rely on me. And so I feel like my
Mm,
mom,
felt like she didn't have to worry about you. You got
right,
this.
right, exactly. Which she's always felt like that, even as I was a
Yeah.
kid, which is why, that she had me when she was a teen. And so that's why I didn't have that like idolized relationship with my mom because
Because you had that with your grandmother.
I had that with my grandma. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's interesting how that works.
Hmm.
So working on the boundaries is definitely a constant practice. It's something that
Yes.
I have to remind myself even because I am a recovering people pleaser and somebody who did not realize that I'm allowed to have boundaries. Although I was always very respectful of other people's boundaries and I would champion and support people with upholding theirs. I'm one of those that I need to learn by example. I can be very literal in a lot of ways, but what I've been taught was that anything that makes your instinct like
Hmm.
something just feels uncomfortable, even if you don't know what it is. That's the first indication that you should pay attention. Like this right here is a mood point or it's a boundary or someone is crossing that boundary. So even if you didn't know what it was before, in that moment when your instinct is like, wait a minute, just stop and observe what's going on. So then that way you can start to keep track of the patterns of like other moments when you felt like this or other scenarios where you were in this and felt it but denied that feeling.
Hmm.
Because ultimately, when you take it away and you're just like ruminating later in the day or whatever, I don't know about you, but like I would beat myself up for like not standing up for myself or not doing this because I was people pleasing or just wanting to like go with the flow just to keep away from confrontation. That was more so my thing. But what I've recognized is I rather be uncomfortable in the moment of confrontation
Hmm.
or whatever than to be beating myself up for way longer.
Yeah,
Just
that makes
process.
sense. And speaking about boundaries, I was
Hmm.
the person who didn't respect other people's boundaries, which
Ooh.
is why I feel like I've given my mom a lot of leeway with like learning how to respect mine. Because before
Ah.
therapy, I was very selfish and kind of a hot mess.
But did you have boundaries? Like, did you have your own boundaries that you would not play around with, but you just couldn't respect others?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's so
How did
funny.
that start? How did
It's
you get there?
I feel like it's kind of always been there. I didn't know what boundaries were, you
Yeah,
know?
we didn't really know a lot of these
And
terminologies.
I thought everyone was the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought
Um,
this person's crazy or, whatever. And then I
or
got,
weird or
yeah, yeah. And
standoffish
then I
or
got to therapy and then I started looking at myself and I'm like, and even my therapist was saying, like, the people who I would talk to her about were her typical client. She was like, I'm not a typical client. And I think this is why, like, our relationship worked because I was always like, there was always a story. It was
you
always
gave her a new
fun.
challenge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, there was this one time that she told her, because she's also a professor,
Hmm.
and I'll never forget it, because she told her class about one of our like
Session.
sessions, not necessarily, but the
Well,
behavior,
yeah.
the behavior that I told her that had happened. I was
Mm.
basically like a
Case
Case
study.
study.
Girl, not the writing essays about you and discussion
Looking
posts.
back, and I was like, dang, I was like a
You had
completely different
somebody
person.
writing 500 to 1,000 words about you, girl, punching the air like, ooh, this girl got issues.
It doesn't help that I'm an Aquarius.
Dang. If she puts it in a published article, you need to like tag it. You need to be like, yes, I was case study number 3.6.
Yeah. Me and my
That was
therapist,
me.
me and my therapist are like real cool. Like she's become like more of my life coach because she's basically
Oh, that's
like,
beautiful.
you good girl. Like, what else do you want to work on? Like, think of me as your life coach now. And every once in a while, she has to remind me of how much progress that I've made and how I've changed. Because she would
Mm.
always bring up, you remember when you first started working with me? I'm like, yeah, I remember that girl.
Yeah. I posted something, I shared something on my IG the other day that we often feel like we never have done enough, or we're always trying to like keep up because we've never taken a chance to stop and reflect on what we've done, what we've
Yeah. And we
accomplished.
keep moving the
The
marker.
goalpost, yeah. Because we're just either chasing what society tells us that we should want, or it just is never enough. And
Hmm.
that's very consuming. My God. But when I think about just the first day of me going to therapy versus now,
We different.
because it's woo, we thank God for access
Yeah.
to therapy. Because I honestly, it's wild. But I will take that accomplishment of like putting myself first.
Mhm.
Me seeking therapy was me be like, nah, this is not sustainable. I need to put me first and find it in this healthy way without before going to vices. I mean, emotional eating was the first thing. But outside of that was getting the mental together. I mean, we go to doctors and specialists for all kinds of other parts of the body. Why not your mental capacity? Like
Exactly.
that part, as long as we're working on removing the stigma from that. But so now a different relationship now that we are in our big threes.
Mm.
You still in your big threes, right?
I am. I just turned 38 in February.
Oh yeah. Okay. How do we feel 2 years to 40 and you being your big fours?
Actually, like I feel good. Like I don't
Yeah,
feel 38. I mean, my body feels 38
girl.
sometimes.
It
There's always
humbles you every
something.
time.
There's always something. But like mentally, I don't feel like, oh, I'm getting old. No, I don't feel like that. I feel like I still have a life to live and all of these experiences to have. So I'm excited.
That's good.
Yeah.
So how have your friendships sustained throughout your 30s? How has that been? Because I met a couple of cool people who I'm still connected to on IG from Rose's birthday. And
Yeah.
yeah, and they were like, "Oh, we met her through Bumble." And I have only ever used Bumble or those other apps to like link up with dudes. I've
Yeah.
never considered the friendship aspect of it. But you and I met through Marcia, and she hosted an event.
Mhm.
I kind of like, much like with dating, I prefer meeting people in person. I feel
Mhm.
like you can feel a lot, get to know a lot about them based off of how they move in a space. You get to feel their energy.
Mhm.
And then you kind of know more or less, like, I think we vibe well, or I'm going to stay away from you.
Right.
So, how has that been, like navigating friendships like throughout your 30s? Do you have any long lasting friendships, like from childhood
Oh,
or?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I have a handful of friendships that I'm still like, like tight with.
Hmm.
But when I first moved down here, I didn't have
Know
any
anybody?
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to put myself out there to make friends. And before the dating apps, because I was kind of like a late bloomer to the dating apps. And so for a few years, I was just like literally going out and just meeting people in real life
And you're pretty extroverted.
when I need to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I would describe you as an extrovert, not in the hyper, I need to be around people all the time type of thing, but I can see like you're more of a, no, let's hang out. Like, let's not just be on the phone
Oh,
or
yeah, for
just
sure.
text
Because
message a bunch. Like, let's go do
I
something
hate
or
being on
meet
the
up
phone.
somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I hate being on the phone. I'm really bad at texting.
Yeah.
There's
Maybe
certain
more
cases.
social.
There's certain
Maybe you're more
cases.
social than necessarily extroverted. I'll say. Let
Yes,
me
yes.
reframe that. You're more social than
Yeah,
extroverted
yeah.
necessarily. Yeah.
That's a good description. But when I got my first place here in Orlando, my roommate at the time, we became really good friends and we're still close to this day. And through her, like she met her husband while we were out one night.
Wow.
And so it's I met friends through friends or just like going out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met some really good friends through these apps. So I was on like all the apps for like dating, but
Mm-hmm.
then on Bumble they have like
The friendship,
the
yeah.
friendship app. And so two of my closest friends I met through the Bumble app, and
Mm-hmm.
we're like tight. And they were, it was a rare like connection, I feel like,
Yeah.
because both of these connections were very effortless.
Okay.
And it's like you meet up with them and the vibe is right and they're not weird and stuff like that. Because I met a handful of people,
Yeah.
the friendship part of it, and they were just weird, or they didn't have the same interests as me, or um just weird, just not my vibe. But yeah, but going back to like navigating friendships in your 30s, because even though I've had
Yes.
success in making some really great friends and maintaining relationships, it's challenging
Yeah.
to keep up, just because of life
Yeah.
happens. You're working, some of us have kids, some of us live so far away, so it takes
Yeah.
it takes a lot of it takes more
Effort.
effort to
Yeah.
maintain a friendship in your 30s than it does
Mm-hmm.
like in your 20s. And also, I feel like in our 30s, after working all day, you're tired, and sometimes you
You're
just
30
you just you
something.
just
And
don't feel like going out. And
the
then
spirit of laying up and watching your show.
yes,
The way I
and
dream of that during the workday. I'm like,
it's
ooh,
like I feel like
later.
as we get older, it's like I don't want to be out all night anymore.
Yeah.
Cuz I used to be out all night, and now
Girl.
I'm like every once in a while it's so fun, but for the most part it's like we
Okay.
go hit up happy hour,
Yeah.
maybe have dinner, maybe have some drinks, but I'm home. Like,
I'm trying to be home by 9:30 in my pajamas, curled up,
yeah. And so I
catching
feel like that
somebody's
that
show.
limits like a lot of
Did you start
interactions.
did you start feeling that way before you became a mom? Because you were already in your 30s. Like at what point in your 30s do you say
No, I didn't start feeling that
socially?
way until after I
Okay.
became a mom, because I
Okay.
was
That's different.
up until up
You still
until I got
outside,
pregnant,
honey. Your girl was outside.
I was still outside heavily. Yeah.
Okay, so what about your friendships of like since you've become a mom? How has that changed for some of your friends who are still not parents? Like has that dynamic changed either with them with you or you with them or
Yeah,
how's that been?
I think it's been slightly. I would say like my good friends, we talk less.
Okay.
I just feel like when you get older, you get more responsibilities, regardless if you have like a kid or not.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we talk less, but then when we see each other, it's like no time has passed. And oftentimes I'll have Rose with me when I do catch up with my friends. And so the dynamics have changed in a way that we can't like kiki like we used to, because I still got this little girl that I got to take
Yeah, so we
care
got to
of.
keep it cute. We have to use code words.
But we still can do our thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let, being a mom or having a daughter like kind of get in the way of my friendships or like hanging out. Like if you can roll, like she can roll with me. If not, I'll just
Yeah.
leave her. But for the most part, I want her to be able to roll.
Yeah. That's
Just
one thing I will say. Growing up, I admire how my mom modeled like pretty much our dynamic as a family. We're very female centered.
mhm,
And so just really getting to see like her friendships and how much she values those and like even the relationships with cousins because your family in a lot of ways are your first friends. So just seeing how they like curated and like grew up together and really value each other, you really kind of see the ebbs and flows in relationship. So
mhm.
I would say that was definitely impactful and how I modeled and and really navigate my own friendships with my two best friends that we've known each other since middle school. I would say we've reached like sibling status, whereas very much so a lot of life happens. We may not talk every day, or you have seasons where you really talk all the time, and then you
Yeah.
like fall off. But then once you catch up, you know it's love. You guys know each other's whole families. You call each other's mom, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like you are a sibling. I wouldn't even really count that as like friendships. I would say friendships would be the ones that I've met. Usually, your coworkers as an adult become like your next set of friends, or how you tend to meet people, either like professional organizations that you're a part of or from work. That's where you start to really socialize. Because before that, like you were in
True.
school, you know? And with coworkers, I'm still cool with pretty much a good amount of coworkers from where I work that we may have fallen off. But it's like if we see each other, it's like, oh hey, whatever, whatever. But I can't say that we're super duper close.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, in your
Yeah.
30s, your coworkers become friends. Like,
Yeah.
fortunately for me, because I work for we're such a small team. Some of my coworkers I consider like family. And
Yeah.
so that's always nice if you can have an environment where you work
A
that's
healthy
like
environment.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like meeting different people. So like I met Shri from going to your opening because it was her gallery opening. No,
Oh, at City Arts, is that
it
when
was
you guys
before
met?
that. College Park. Both of you put work in the showcase. And then the next time was her showcase that you put your artwork in. Because that's when we went to like the Hawaiian hula place, whatever,
Oh,
across the street.
yeah, yeah,
With that
yeah.
bougie spam. It was just fried spam that they
Okay,
try to make
now, yeah.
fries. But that
But
was my first time meeting Shri was because she had submitted work.
and I think that's basically how you could easily meet and
Yeah.
nurture friendships is through your existing friends and through
Mm,
going to events like this. Like, even I know we are creative and going out, we go to like art events and stuff like that. So
yeah.
it's different than like maybe someone else.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't a creative, going to art events is like a really great way to meet people,
Hmm.
especially when the artists are there because you can talk to them. I feel like every artist that I know, they're more than happy to
Oh
share their
yeah.
work and to talk about their work, and then it's like a natural conversation.
It's usually the vibe is always high, especially like the opening night of a
Yeah.
showcase because the artist is pumped and is very excited to share their work.
Hmm.
People are usually coming because they want to socialize and get to meet people.
Exactly.
It's just the energy is usually really set
Yes.
high
And I
for
feel
that
like
space.
that it's like
Yeah.
that every city has some type of like arts hub.
Mm,
They have some type of like certain night of the month, the galleries
yeah.
are open. And so I would definitely recommend if you're trying to find friends in your 30s to find out what these art events are. And then not even just art, there's open mic nights everywhere.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's a really good opportunity for people to meet other people because in my experience at these open night mics, a lot of people are coming by themselves
Yeah.
because they're either participating or they're just a patron. And
Yeah.
so a lot of the times you're going to find people by themselves. So then it's like really easy to kind of make that connection because they're probably looking for the same thing.
Absolutely. And because the event that you both showed up at, you have something in common. Like, oh,
Hmm.
you're interested in this open mic night, or you're interested in the arts or the visual arts, the mixed media arts,
Hmm.
whichever. So you already have a conversation starter.
Hmm.
Even if you're getting in line to grab a drink, you're just like, oh, hey, that set was really dope. Or did you get a chance to see this piece? Or you overhear someone like giving their critique or how they connect with some body of art. And then you just jump right in. And people are very open to conversations and connecting in those spaces. Very rarely do you see people kind of standoffish or close off. I guess if they're family or just they're overwhelmed by the energy in the
Hmm.
room. Sometimes creative spaces, we could do too much.
Yeah, but yeah,
We're
it's
all
definitely
vibing
very
really
rare.
high.
Yeah.
But it's very rare that you find somebody just kind of shut in or disinterested and you can tell they're here because of obligation. But for the most part, people are going there to connect. And then it's, oh, what are you doing after this? Like, very so often, like that becomes the next topic of conversation so that you can keep it going.
Yes, exactly.
And usually a little liquor's involved. So you really get to really know people and their true
Always.
selves. So if you can see them in that state and not
Always.
judge them too bad, or you really vibe with them, so then you can see them, like you'll be open to meeting up for coffee or just hang out or going for lunch or whatever. It feels more like, okay, you get to see different sides
Yeah,
of people.
exactly.
So how many friendships can you say? I mean, I don't feel like you, my perception of you, I don't feel like you're one of those I need to have a lot of friends type people. I think people just
Oh
naturally
gosh.
gravitate towards you because of your energy.
I don't
But
want
how
a lot of
many
friends.
can you actually say in this current moment can you really prioritize?
I have a handful of like really good friends who,
Okay.
we're tight. And I still have friends from back home that we're tight.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of like people I'm friendly
Acquaintances. Yeah.
with, and I think that just comes with, yeah, I guess the vibe that I give off.
Yeah.
But in terms of actually like hanging out and going out and stuff like that, I reserve that time for like those close friends.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not in a season in my life where I'm trying to make
Got you.
new friends unless I just find you like really interesting.
Mm,
Then like that rarely happens now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now that little Miss Rose is becoming her own social butterfly, what are some ways that you would help guide her in navigating friendships? Or
This
what have you
is
learned from your like experience of friendships that you hope that she won't have to experience or ways that you want
this
her
is
to?
gonna be, yeah, it's definitely gonna be a challenge when I think about what my mom used to say to us. She'd be
Mm,
like, "Not everyone's your friend, like, these little friends, like, they don't care
have
about
some
you."
discernment,
Yeah, 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 so I'll definitely, that will
instill that in
definitely
her.
be instilled in her. That will be a challenge for me because I know I'm gonna know better than her and
Okay.
her little friendships, and, I kind of, like, she'll be 4, but she's had, like, little friends here and there and people in the
Yeah.
neighborhood, but even then, if a new little person pops up, I'm looking up their parent.
Well, yes, absolutely.
I'm looking up their voter registration
That part.
and seeing what they're posting and just kind of like just like I would if
No,
I were meeting
I
someone.
listen, I absolutely agree with everything because it tells a lot about how the values that they're instilling in their child and they should be looking you up
Yeah.
as well. It should go
And
both ways.
I'm on Facebook and I join like a bunch of these like mom groups in
Mhm.
my communities because this is where we're going to be growing. She's going to be growing up. And
Yeah.
so I don't participate. I just kind of like see things.
Observe. Yeah.
And it's like, yep, we're never hanging out. Like your
Yeah.
kid's never hanging out just because of who you are and your beliefs.
Mhm.
There's a lot of
I'm
information
sure.
from these mom groups. Like
Yeah.
a
How
lot.
catty they are, how they talk about
Very
others.
catty, very judgy. I mean, of course, we're moms, we're gonna be judgy, but these
Some
moms are
people act on
super
it.
judgmental.
Yeah.
Anywhere you are, like the moms are gonna be judgmental, but it's crazy, like how judgmental these moms
Yeah.
can be.
And I'm sure the kids pick up on the behavior.
Oh, 100%.
If they're
And
not being if they're not being taught that behavior, your kids are still gonna model you because they see, like we've seen that with our own parents of
yeah,
like that whole do as I say, not as I do, because you know that you're behaving in a way that you would not want me to be, but this is what I'm gravitating towards
yeah,
because you do it all the time. Or I overhear it, so I'm gonna do those same things, even though you've taught me to be better or do better.
yeah.
But
It's weird, especially like, I take Rose to the park and you have to interact with certain people sometimes.
yeah.
And I mean, there's been a few times I've like had to correct a child's behavior that wasn't mine because
Mm,
their parent isn't around or because the
yeah.
parent thinks it's okay. And there's been plenty of times when I've corrected Rose and I don't care like who's around. Like if you do
Yeah.
something messed up, I'm going to call you out right there and then and she might be
Exactly.
embarrassed, but you're going to learn.
Yeah.
We're not behaving like that. And
Especially
I
because
try to
you're
like get it like right there and
catch
then.
it when you can, yeah,
Yeah,
just to automatically correct the behavior. So that way she knows immediately when I did this, mom said it's not right.
exactly.
Better than waiting because they're little. They learn from example, they learn from like very tactical in person experiences. And then once she starts getting into elementary, these are the same moms that you're going to encounter because especially if you participate in the PTA or you
Girl,
start getting invited to little kid parties because really that's the socializing part.
it is wild to think about like these lives that we live because like even now like Rose
Yeah.
is in pre-K 3 and she'll be in pre-K 4. She's at this private little Christian school
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, and what the
she's going
school
to
is teaching.
be there next year and I've already decided like this year like when she goes into kindergarten I'm pulling her out of this private school and sending her to this charter school.
Mm,
One, because of diversity,
yeah.
that's
Important.
very important, but also I feel like the types of especially where I live in like Mineola, Claremont, we are in a red county.
Mm.
Even though it's very diverse, the school that we're at,
Pretty conservative. I mean, it's
not
Christian.
I don't have to
Yeah.
say anything to say,
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like the education isn't very like rigorous,
Okay.
and I'm like, well, I can't have a child who's like a dummy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially if your kid is more advanced or gifted, like you want to make sure that they're being taught at the level that they're at or always being challenged so that they don't get bored and fall
Yeah,
behind.
but the diversity thing is like really important to
Oh,
me because I'm
absolutely.
like, if you're gonna be making these friends, I'm gonna have to know the parents. We're gonna have to like hang
Yeah.
out, and I'm not trying to hang out with these people. So,
Especially
yeah.
if your teacher and the staff, you don't see anyone that resembles you or
Mhm.
reflects you. So then your peers either being the only one of anything is
Mhm.
tough.
Yeah.
So then there's all kinds of like all of those the messaging and the microaggressions start very young
Yeah.
because of things that these kids hear from their parents and the politics and whatever is going on in the background. Little kids start saying that to
I've
each other.
just this week, I
Like
felt like
your hair or your
just this
skin
week I felt like
tone
I
or
was about to cry because Rose wanted her hair down and I did it down and her hair is kinky curly and she
yeah.
was like, my hair is ugly.
Oh my God, it started
And I
already?
like grabbed her and I hugged her and I'm like, your hair is so beautiful. Like what?
Yeah.
And she's like, she's pointing to things like
Oh
white hair.
man.
She wants that like already,
Straight hair. Yeah.
already. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is like, these are like big things that you have to
At
address.
3 going on 4. My
Yeah,
goodness.
it's hard because it's like you gotta teach them
Yeah.
that like self-confidence like real early.
Yeah. And it, again, that's one of those reflecting moments that you have to have and make sure that you don't do any negative self talk when you're getting dressed or like getting ready to make sure she doesn't hear you doing that so that she won't do that.
That's
Like
true.
picking herself apart. Oh, my hair is not doing this. Oh, this outfit's not fitting the way I want
Yeah,
my stomach or my arms or whatever it might be. Like you have to be very conscious of not saying those things out loud, even though you think it or and feel it, but just to make sure that she's not then like, oh, maybe I should start paying attention to my body more in this way or thinking these negative ways
yeah.
about myself. Yeah, you're constant. Ooh, child motherhood.
You know, Rose, my little Leo child, she gonna be all
Yes.
about the way she looks.
She love a camera, honey.
She already is. She wants to pick out her outfit. She wants her hair a certain way. She gotta, you know, look in the mirror like every day. Like she's already
I love her.
extra. So
I
I,
absolutely adore
I
her.
just need her to love herself and teach her how
Yeah.
to love herself, especially with the hair thing.
Oh
Like, oh
yeah.
my God, I wasn't ready for this.
No, we have to. It's been. I haven't seen her since her first birthday. It's terrible. That's bad, Tati Chris. I'm next time we hang out. I'm having my hair out with
Yes.
her
And actually,
and talking
I
about how
have this
beautiful her hair is and
I
how
have this
beautiful my hair
painting
is.
in my room and it's abstract, but the girl clearly has like wavy kind of straight hair. And when she said my hair was ugly, I immediately thought, "Oh, I got to get some artwork in here.
Yeah,
I got to change the way that I like decorate a space and start putting up images
Mm-hmm.
so she can learn how
Can
to
see
love herself.
herself. Yeah.
Because I would have never thought that
Thought
she
about
would
that.
think about this abstract woman that has like long, wavy hair and think like, oh, that's how I want my hair.
Yeah, because it connects to the little girls that she's around that have
Hmm.
similar hair to that girl
Yeah.
and her hair. You learn very early. That's one of the skills is like what two things are not the same. Like they always make you learn what the differences are, but
Yeah.
that impacts so many other ways. Not just squares and triangles, my skin tone is not like yours. My lips are not like yours. My nose is not like yours. Things like that. It's
Yeah.
crazy how early. But speaking of Little Miss Rose, she is an artist already. And I love that from jump. Like even when you were decorating her nursery and just the intention of like the black and white for her
Hmm.
mobile, like over her crib, like I would have never thought of that. So she was already exposed to art very early from
Very
literally
early.
being in the crib.
Very early.
And then
Yeah.
I love the practice of when you're creating artwork, like bringing her in on the very beginning stages.
Oh,
So, what
yeah.
made you want to do that?
It was like a natural thing because she was like always up in my business. Like she just always wanted to be around me. So I'm like, all right, if I want to be in here,
Yeah.
like you could be in here with me too. And she'd have her little thing and I'd work on
Mhm.
my stuff. And then as she got older, she's more interested in what I'm doing. So I'm like, whatever, like here, help me.
Yeah.
And then it became a thing. And then until like recently, like going into this year, I started painting with color and that's all Rose. That's all Rose.
Um,
Because she has me buying all these colors and paints and stuff like that. And she
yeah.
loves color. And she's like, Mommy, use pink, use red, use this. And my relationship with color changed through
Mhm.
her because I didn't used to love color. Like it just wasn't my vibe. I felt nothing. I mean, yes, in the world, of course, color
Yeah.
can be beautiful, but like in my art, I'm like, "Eh." And then I'm like, okay, let's try color. And then I'm like, oh, I like
This is
this. This
cool.
is nice. And then I did another one and I'm like, oh, this is nice. And then I started putting things together and I'm like, ooh, I like
Yeah.
this. And then I had this idea for a collection. And then I just like went at it and I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
That's cool. And then I love that you also started incorporating other types of textures and
I
things
start
on.
using new mediums and
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I'm in my Renaissance era, to be honest.
Come on. I
Because
love it.
I told Rose is going to be 4 and my life has been all about her and which has been amazing. But
Yeah.
uh, there was parts of me, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could get back to this, do more travel
Yeah.
or hang out with my friends more, listen and go to like things I used to love doing.
Yeah.
And so I told myself this would be my year of doing that. And so far it's like been true.
Yeah.
But the evolution of my creative process was a surprise. Like that wasn't
Mm.
planned. And
Yeah.
now it's like here and I'm actively working on this new collection. And so you're seeing in real time
Yeah.
this me evolving basically.
Absolutely. Because all of your pieces, I can still spot a Gina piece
Hmm.
because you still have your signature. The evolution has been the incorporation of color, even
Hmm.
different shades, like it evokes a different tone,
Yeah.
adding resin. So you have the high gloss, not only just the glimmers of gold that you would get in your previous pieces,
Hmm.
the patterns that you would create. What made you gravitate towards more of that? It definitely gives I don't want to say free form, but there is something freeing in the piece that every design you can tell it goes along in the collection, but it's a little different.
So from the very beginning, my work can be characterized as organic and
Yeah.
free flowing. Even
Mm-hmm.
from my earlier works, I never had like hard edges. It was always soft and feminine and
Mm-hmm.
flowing. So that's always kind of like been throughout my work.
I would also add balance.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because
Composition.
yeah, for sure. Because even though you had the contrast of the black and the white, even in like the shapes, like you would always have like rounded shape and it would be like more of a solid line and others would be a bit more rough. Like there was still a balance. So it was never just flat.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
very multidimensional.
Yes. and that became like,
Yeah.
my style. And then doing this new work and using these new mediums, the shapes that I do, this like very organic like
It's not
shape,
quite a splat
it's
or it's
it's like I used to doodle this. I used to do this all the
yeah.
time, and then I started making paintings with this particular shape.
Mhm.
And then it was a natural evolution
Mhm.
of my drawing to my shapes and my painting, and then using this new medium. I don't know. It wasn't like I'm purposely setting out to do this particular style. It's like this
It just
feels natural to
yeah.
me. Oh, let me experiment with birchwood. And I was doing paintings and mixed media on wood before I
Mhm.
started doing like this new stuff.
Yeah.
And so I got that feel of working with the wood. And then at some point, I brought in the rope. And I'm like, oh, because I wanted to work with more text, like literal. I wanted to work with textiles. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let me see what this rope's like. So I started messing around with rope. And then I don't know where
Yeah.
I can't tell you because I feel like it wasn't me. It
Okay.
wasn't me who's like coming up with these ideas. It's just like
It wasn't like a
flowing.
conscious decision. Like you were just going with what gravitated towards you,
Yes.
like what felt more in alignment with what clearly you're needing to express something or tap into something. So you're just
Yes.
gravitating to what feels right
Exactly.
and being more attuned with like nature and just feeling like, yeah.
Yeah, and the evolution of this particular style, it's like I started working with wood and then rope, and then I did the rope on the wood, but I left it natural. I didn't paint it. And then
Mm
it was like, oh, this would look cool. What if I painted this black? And then it was that. And then I'm like, oh, what it would be like with the textures. And then it was just like I had this vision, oh, what if I use resin to fill this in so there's more of a contrast? But then how am I going to keep me and keep my signature like gold style? I'm like, let me mix the gold and so
in the resin. Yeah.
it's like I have work that has transformed over the past like year, but it just like kind of grew and expanded, and now it's like, oh, I have this vision that I'm carrying out to a new collection of work. And then the color happened.
I think you just perfectly described your testimony of where you are because you stay true to yourself in your artwork. You embrace the different evolutions that you've had and you're expanding to new and open, colorful possibilities
Mm.
like through Rose. Like, honestly, that's really how you've set up the trajectory. Like, if you look at all of your work, like, you still have that signature, you still stay true to what works for you while being willing to open up to new possibilities and options, but still channeling back to like your true self of how I don't want to get lost in anything that
Mm.
I'm doing. Even within motherhood, like, yeah, you have, okay, did not expect this, but we're here and I'm embracing it. So,
Recent.
but I'm still going to honor who my true self is and embrace this new challenge. And then it turns out to be an awesome experience and getting to live that with your daughter and then seeing that within your artwork and even in your friendships, just like I honor who Gina is and
Yeah.
where she has come from, embracing this new journey and just being open to whatever is coming. Like that's beautiful.
When you put it like that, yes, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's exactly how it's been.
That's awesome. And I'm sure your clientele as well, because your girl is an established artist, honey. Okay, my girl gets commissions. Okay, my girl got fans.
It is nice to be able to make a little money off of what you love to
Yeah.
do. And I'm hoping with this new, I do have a goal with this new collection
What
because
is
I
that?
am going to be building out this new collection. But next year, after all of the work I'm putting in this year, I'm going to start reaching out to galleries to try to get gallery representation outside of Florida. I feel like,
Nice.
I've spent the past 2015, like basically
Yeah, 10
nine,
years.
10
Yeah.
years painting, mastering what I'm doing. I feel like it's all kind of like help build,
Yeah.
who I am and who I am as an artist as well. And now, especially like incorporating color and doing something different, I feel like there is a market for
Yeah.
what I'm doing now more so than what I had been doing. And
Mhm.
I just feel like there's more things on the horizon and I'm just getting started. And it took 9 years, I feel like, for
Yeah.
me to kind of get to this place. And
Cuz you didn't
I was not on a timeline or anything like that, you know?
it's just crazy how life works out cuz you didn't start off. I mean, did you go to school for graphic design?
I did go to school, but I was self-taught. So even before I got to
Yeah.
school, I learned everything that I learned in school before I got to school. When I was
Yeah.
in school, I was working on freelance projects.
Yeah.
Like I was using my school projects to
Yeah.
work on paid projects.
I know that's right. A resourceful queen.
Super resourceful. I
So tell the people, tell the bloomies how they can support you and where they can follow you.
on Instagram at Gina Tyquiengco,
Can you spell the
and
last name?
it's Tyquiengco. But if you just start typing Gina Ty, like I should pop up. Like
Hello, because the brand is strong.
or you can Google me.
Okay, come on. You could
But yeah,
Google
I
me.
use Instagram mainly. Like
Yeah.
Facebook, but I don't use Facebook for my Facebook's like
Family.
family,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Family and like a living yearbook.
And I'm open for commissions. So if you see something that you like, let me know. Just send me a DM. I'm more than happy to create something specific for someone, which I've been doing. Like, it's so funny because as I've been introducing like this new body of work, people have
Hmm.
been reaching out like, oh, I like this. Can you do this color? And so it's like, as I'm working on building out this
Ah,
collection, I'm also working on commissions like at the same time.
okay.
And so I like that.
Yeah. Are you gonna release the commissions at the same or wait till the collection's done? How does that work with your timeline?
So I've already like there's been a few commissions that I've already like shown like on Instagram.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that, but I wasn't sure if you were ready to like share the pieces before you actually put out the
Oh no,
collection fully.
I'm not
Okay.
it's like a slow burn with this collection.
Okay.
Like you'll see I'm gonna be like sharing things
Okay.
as I create them. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like give it all away, but
Oh no, but I just mean like if I'm commissioning an art piece, will I wait for my art piece for when you showcase
oh,
everything?
no, girl. Like I will
I
work.
didn't know if you
No,
wanted
no,
it
no,
to be
no.
under wraps,
No,
kind
no,
of
no, no,
really.
no.
Okay.
Like we lock
Okay.
in a date and that's when
Okay.
you'll get your piece. So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And they can also check out your website as well.
Yeah, same thing, GinaTaekwondo.com, or you can Google like Gina Ty and
It'll pop
it'll
up
pop
for
up.
sure. But you prefer DMs as your main like contact for any inquiries for commissioned work.
Yeah, yeah. Just because I feel like
Awesome.
that's such an easy way to connect with people and
It is.
you already have access to my art, but also I share my process. So my
Mm-hmm.
website shares finished work and I do describe
It's more like your
me.
portfolio.
Yeah, but Instagram you can really see my process and
Yeah.
who I am. I mean, to an extent.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Well, thank you so much, Gina, for being on the Blooming Lately
Thank you for having
podcast.
me.
And of course, we're going to have you back. You're an official Bloomy. I mean, you were before this was a thing. So,
I'm so glad.
all right. I'll talk to you later, Bloomies. Thank you so much for listening to the Blooming Lately podcast. All of your listens and all of your support is much appreciated, and I definitely feel the love. Please do follow me on Instagram at Blooming Lately Pod. And again, you can check out the description of this episode and all episodes to get access to the links so you can support and follow any guests that I have on as well. And while you're at it, just leave a little comment, rate the episode, keep the love flowing. Let's keep these blooms blooming. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.